Welcome to the Digital Marketing Show on GSB TV, our weekly webcast series with advice and insight for small business owners and independent professionals from our team here in Atlanta. Each week we broadcast a new episode featuring talks about things like customer service and leadership, sales marketing, and a lot more. I'm Edwin Bevins, our head writer and editor, and with me is Jay Moore, our social media director.
Glad to be here.
And today we are talking about Facebook Live.
Yes, we are.
So let's just jump right in. And first question, what is Facebook Live for people who are hearing this for the first time?
So you might have been hearing about Facebook Live lately. You've probably seen some television commercials. They've actually launched a pretty aggressive television advertising campaign to kind of familiarize people with the idea. So Facebook Live, essentially, all it is a live streaming platform that allows you to go live via Facebook and broadcast video in real time to the people that follow you on Facebook or like you. If you're an individual, that's your friends and just people that are part of your personal profile. If you're a business or some kind of other page, a small business or something like that, then it's going to be the people that like your page and that follow that page.
Yeah, and so this is a fairly new program they've been doing. It's really still measured in months in terms of how long they've been doing it.
Yeah, I believe they opened up live streaming capabilities to verified Facebook profiles late last year in 2015. People that have the blue check on Facebook, kind of like the blue check on Twitter, but the verified profile. So there was a limited kind of rollout there. So it was sort of for celebrities and big businesses and things like that. And then earlier this year, they opened it up to the entire platform. So, everyone from a mom and pop small business to a solo entrepreneur to, just your average, personal Facebook recreational user, your grandma, could get on and live stream video now if she wants to.
That's right. So let's talk a little bit about how Facebook Live works. Like, how would you go about starting a Facebook Live stream? What are the steps you would take?
Yeah, so it's really simple. It's not a separate app. You don't have to go download the Facebook Live app or anything like that. It's actually native to Facebook. It is designed to be used primarily on a mobile device, so you can go live from your phone or you can go live from an iPad, something that obviously has a camera and an internet connection. It's not really designed to go live from a desktop computer. But basically all you do, it's very simple. You're not going to see the close-ups here, but you all know what I'm doing because we all do it every day. You open up your iPhone or your Android, you go to your Facebook app, and you'll see a little button in the top left that says Live if you're on a personal account. If you're a business, I would suggest, and you have a business page, I'd probably recommend downloading the Pages Manager app, which is a separate app, but that just allows you to manage pages. And the same thing there, right in the middle of your screen on your Facebook business page, you'll see a little button that says Live. You tap that and you'll be getting ready to go live. That will not actually throw you to a live video, so don't worry, you have a few seconds after you, or not even a few seconds, you have as long as you want. I should clarify that in case anybody out there is a little nervous, they're going to hit the live button and all of a sudden everybody's going to be looking at them. Sitting in their living room.
Right.
So.
You have some time to get things the way you want it to be.
Exactly.
Right. And so how do people find out that you're live? So you start a live streaming video. Who knows about it and how can they watch it?
Right. Well, people that follow you. So we're just going to, for now, let's suppose we're talking about a small business. Say it's a restaurant on Main Street and they've got a Facebook business page and maybe they have 1,000 people that like their page. And follow them on Facebook. When that business decides to go live, people that are following them are actually going to get a little push notification on their phone, like we all get on Facebook. And obviously, people configure their settings differently, but they're going to get a little notification that says, Bob's Pizza is live now, talking about, and whatever Bob's Pizza typed in as the description of their video, they're going to see that. So that's the best way. But telling people that you're going to go live is totally a good thing to do, especially if you're just getting into this. Maybe start posting on your Facebook page, hey, we're going to be going live for the first time this Friday at lunchtime. Tune in. Yeah. Be sure to mark your calendars and tune in. Or you can say, hey, we're going to be live today at 3 o'clock with a very special message. Be sure to tune in at that time. So
yeah, so that kind of segues right into, let's talk about some best practices for doing a great Facebook live stream. And one of the first things, right, like you said, is you want to build some anticipation.
Yeah, build some anticipation, especially as you're getting started. It's a good idea to let people know that maybe you're going to be live at a specific time. I know that when we first sort of started doing these here in our offices with our CEO, Fran Tarkenton, we would kind of tease those and say, hey, Fran's going to be live today at 2 o'clock with his thoughts on, small business this week, or his thoughts on the Vikings football game, or whatever it may be. Obviously, he has some strong opinions on both of those topics. But yeah, letting people know that you're going to go live, build some anticipation is a good thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, and it's something you can do in just a status update. Hey, we're going to be live at such and such a time. But I've also seen, instances where Fran would do a very brief video, even anticipating the next full live session.
You can do that. You can do that. The bottom line is, there's a lot of different ways you can use this, and I think it's to some extent only limited by your imagination and your willingness to put in some time to kind of play around with it and figure out the medium. You
just want to get people excited about what you're going to be talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so as far as on the technical aspects, what you want to be concerned about, making sure you have a fast enough connection.
Absolutely. Yeah, generally speaking, you're going to want to have a fairly strong connection. If you're on Wi-Fi, that's obviously going to be probably ideal. But you can broadcast live over a cell network as well. Generally, you'll get a notification when your signal is weak. If your signal is too weak, it will actually tell you that your signal is too weak to start a broadcast. Or even if you're in the middle of your broadcast and your signal is weak, it'll tell you that you've got a weak signal. So it's just something to be aware of. If you're sitting there and you got one bar and you're in the middle of nowhere, it might not be the best place to do a Facebook Live video. Give it a shot. You might lose your connection, but generally speaking, as long as you have a decent cell signal, you should be fine.
And also just be aware, I think streaming video is also going to use quite a bit of data.
That is true. Yes, that is true.
When you're not on a Wi-Fi network.
I would imagine so, yeah.
So earlier you mentioned, when you first hit that live button to start, it doesn't start right away, and that's because it goes to asking you to describe your video.
Right.
So, what are some advice, tips you have for people to describe?
One of the things that Facebook says in their tips for how to do these live videos is, when you describe your video, try to make it compelling. So just think about something that's going to grab a viewer's attention. You think about what they're going to see if they get a push notification that you're live. They're going to see so-and-so is live now, and they're going to see whatever little description you type in. I would advise you to definitely try to keep it pretty short, like 8 or 10 words, something like that,
Sure.
maybe a sentence, But if it's just so-and-so is live now and you say pizza, it's not very exciting. So, we're going back to the analogy that's saying that or not analogy, but saying that we're a pizza restaurant. So, but if you say, Bob's Pizza's live now, how to get your free slice, maybe that's something that would entice people to click on your live video and to actually check out what you're talking about. And you may not just talk about that one thing, but it's a good segue. Certainly don't do a bait and switch. If you tell your viewers you're going to talk about something, you should definitely talk about it. Don't say we're talking about puppies and kittens and they get on and you're talking about alligators and sharks. That's not really going to be not really going to be fun. So that would be the best thing. Another thing too, we'll just kind of keep rolling down this list. We have a few best practices here. While you're broadcasting, be sure to ask your viewers to follow you, to like your page on Facebook, to follow you, and to turn on their notifications when you're live so that they'll get notified of these videos. Obviously, you're asking for that. Social media is a two-way street, and people have the ability to unplug anytime they want to. But part of that is being able to create compelling content that's going to entice people to want to continue to follow you and know what you're doing. So.
Yeah, and also when you've got people and when you're telling people to like and share the video, that also gets it in front of the people that they're connected to who aren't necessarily following you too.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing. And that's a very good point, Edwin, that I didn't mention is asking people to share your live video feed while you're broadcasting. People can actually share that in the moment while they're watching. Maybe if you're talking about a particular topic. That might be someone's watching and they're like, man, this would be, my friend Steve or my friend Linda would really love to see this video. Yeah. Share it with Steve and Linda. Encourage your viewers to participate by getting this content out there, sharing what you're talking about, and also interacting with you in comments and likes and reactions, the little emojis that Facebook has now, the little the happy emojis or the angry emojis if you say something that they maybe don't like too much. It's good to get that feedback and be interactive. So be sure to do that. Moving kind of along to the next thing, as far as building an audience, let's talk about that for a second.
Sure.
Facebook actually advises that to build a bigger audience, you should actually broadcast a little longer. They recommend at least 10 minutes going live. In my experience, it doesn't always have to be that. It just depends. If you were doing a Facebook Live and you've kind of said everything you want to say, there's not a ton of engagement happening, or it's run its course and it's kind of trailing off. I don't know that you necessarily need to hang on, to something and have a bunch of awkward dead air time where you're just sort of waiting. But generally speaking, if you have an ability to keep the conversation going with your audience, or if you have a guest on the stream with you, that's great. If you can go for 10 or 15 or 20 minutes, I think Facebook will allow you to broadcast live for up to 90 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the benefits is as you keep going, more and more people can find it, because not everybody is necessarily with you right at the very beginning.
Right.
People can jump in the middle of a stream. And so, I mean, and even as you're streaming, every so often you'd want to kind of reset, hey, here's who I am, here's what we're doing really quick, just for everybody who's joined us in the last, 2 minutes or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, as this is going, obviously you'll have people that get notified that you're live, and some people will join you there, and some people might share it directly with other people on Facebook. But people might be scrolling through their news feed. I know we all do that compulsively throughout the day.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Plausible deniability, right? Whatever. You don't have your phone on you right now, or do you?
Or do
it's
I?
hidden. He's looking at it under the desk. But as you're scrolling through your news feed, you might see so and so is live now, and if you see something interesting there, you might click on that. Being visually engaging helps there, because if someone sees something that grabs their attention on their live, on their news feed, they see a guy, doing a hula hoop, or
I'm picturing the dancing balloon man.
Or something like that, or a dog in high heels. I don't know. I mean, get creative. Obviously, it's limited only by your imagination. But sitting at a desk like two talking heads, like we're doing right now, may or may not be the most exciting thing. But sometimes it's good because you're conveying information. It really depends on your business, on what you're trying to achieve. Obviously,
that's right.
If you're an active outdoor adventure company, you might go live, and we're live at the rappelling World Championships, and you're watching people. But if you're a business consultant, or you're an attorney, you might be doing something really informative and educating your clients about a really important issue. So don't feel like you have to do something that's out of character for your business.
Yeah, and that ties into exactly what we want to talk about next. And that's some of the ways that you can use Facebook Live, some of the types of streaming broadcasts you can do. And one of the best ways to use Facebook Live really is to build your credibility and kind of show what you do a little. Whether you're doing Q&As or kind of informational casts. Talking about a subject. And I mean, I know that's something we've seen Fran do.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're in a position where you've got viewers that might want to know things. It's a great way to demonstrate your expertise or your company's capabilities. Obviously, just to use a very close to home example, here in our office, Fran Tarkenton, our CEO, will sometimes go live, and maybe he'll say, he played for the Minnesota Vikings. He has a lot of fans that still remember and follow him from his Vikings career, and he'll say, what do you want to know about the Vikings season? About the matchup this Sunday, they're playing the Detroit Lions. What do you want to know about that? And people will say, well, how do you think we're going to block the defensive line? Or how do we get our receivers more open downfield? And Fran will chime in and do those things. So obviously that's a credibility builder. He obviously knows what he's talking about in that scenario. But, maybe if you're, if you're, an adventure outdoor, sporting goods store, and you want to go live and talk about, what are some ways that, what are your questions about how I can prepare myself for all the outdoor summer activities that I want to do this coming season? And you say, well, here's the kind of, the tent you need to look for,
right.
Or, get a comfortable pair of hiking shoes, things like that. That's a great thing to do.
And that's actually where that announcement post actually can come in really handy in a Q&A, because you can solicit questions up front. That way, once you start the broadcast, you've already got a handful of questions to start with before people even start joining the webcast and asking you more questions. So another thing you can do with Facebook Live is kind of give a behind-the-scenes look, really build a personal connection, between a business owner or the business itself and customers. And again, that's something I see we do a lot here is, Fran might walk around the office doing during a Facebook Live,
Absolutely.
introducing, hey, look, this is Jay's office right here.
Yeah.
Here's Jay, hard at work.
Yeah, it's a very exciting office too, I have to tell you.
Go next door, walk door to door, and introduce people, and kind of give people a
Absolutely.
look, let people really get to see what you do and how you work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and remember, this is social media. Social media, by its very nature, is about creating relationships and about personal stories. So being able to create a personal connection with your audience is a great thing to do. Like Edwin said, those are great examples. If you're a small business, maybe you do something like you might do employee profiles. Maybe this week we're going to highlight our director of sales, or we're going to highlight our office receptionist, or our lead programmer, or whatever it may be. You might do a profile on the owner. You may be the owner. Turn the camera around on yourself and let people get to know you. Or if you have a leadership team there at your office, maybe I've even seen where companies turn on and kind of let people get an inside glimpse into a company meeting. Obviously, you have to be cognizant of what you're talking about. You want to make sure that you're going to be talking about things that are appropriate to be sharing live in real time. But maybe if you're talking about, if it's your weekly kind of motivational check-in meeting with your team, and you're just talking about, how are we serving our customers this week, whatever, that might be a great way to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit, show people your customer service, show them that you care. Another great thing to do, this is kind of the last personal connection story motif that we'll talk about for today, but highlight your customers' successes. If you have customers that have given you testimonials about your product or service, you could share those. I've seen, Fran's done this before with places that he's been, businesses that he patronizes, or people that work with us, and doing a highlight, going live and maybe in their store. Maybe, it's someone that uses your product or service, and you go out live and you say, hey, we want to highlight, how we've worked together, how we're helping to serve you, and also what your business is doing to serve the community. And it's a great cross-promotional effort to lift up your customers as well. So those are all great ways you can use it. Yeah,
that's great. And then just to cover one last thing real quick, use video to make announcements.
Yeah.
That's exactly a great way to do it.
Right. If you're in a business that maybe is you use a lot of coupons, or you do sales, or you have seasonal special offers or things like that, that's a great way to go on live and have some fun with it. Maybe, or you might do some kind of interesting promotion or giveaway and say, we're live, we're announcing a special contest for our best customers. Submit your comments here, and we're going to pick a winner, or we're going to do something like that. That's a great thing to do. Also, news about your business, keeping people updated. Hey, we just bought 3 brand new trucks that we added to our fleet, and we are really excited that we're going to be able to service our customers even more effectively across these 4 counties or whatever. And here's John. He's one of our fleet managers. And John, what are you guys talking about today with your team about how to get these trucks out into the field? And maybe John goes off on how we can, how we're getting more reach out to be able to better serve our customers. Again, get creative, but use it as a platform to promote your business. But also remember that you're not just there to promote your business and look how great we are, but look how much we want to engage with you. We want to start a conversation with you. We want to figure out what your pain points are, how we can serve you better, what you care about, and just be receptive. Listen as much as you talk, and you're going to get good feedback from your audience on things that they want to hear, things that they want to see, and how you can connect with them more effectively.
That's absolutely right. Mm-hmm. So as we're getting ready to close out here, any quick closing thoughts, just a quick summary for people, that things they absolutely need to take away? Yeah,
quick summary. I mean, just don't forget about the fact that this is a tool that's available to you. I would be willing to bet that this is a relatively new tool. A lot of people haven't delved into this yet, even on a personal level with their own personal Facebook account, especially maybe not with their businesses. But I would encourage you, don't be afraid of launching it and trying this. Have a good time with it. A phone, a good internet connection, something that you want to say or something you want to show, and a desire to connect with people. That's all you need. That's what Facebook Live is. It's connecting with people via live broadcast. Describe what you're doing, be engaged, be engaging, encourage people to be social about it, follow, like, and share. Don't forget to reset periodically as new people join the broadcast. Every few minutes, kind of let them know what you're talking about. Reintroduce people that are on the set with you. That's always a good thing to do, so that people don't come in the middle of the conversation and say, I have no idea what they're talking about or who that person is. And, lastly, be spontaneous and have fun with it. And when you sign off, don't forget to say goodbye and thank your audience for watching.
So goodbye, and thank you for watching
Absolutely.
this most recent episode of GSB TV. We'll be back next week with more advice to help you start, run, and grow your business.